Okay, notice is hereby given of a regular meeting of the City of Friendswood Planning and Zoning Commission to be held Thursday, April 8th, 2021, beginning at 7:03 p.m. in the council chambers at City Hall located at 910 South Friendswood Drive, Friendswood, Texas. The Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting is called to order. We will now receive any communication from the public or committee liaisons to the commission. To comply with provisions of the Open Meetings Act, the commission may not deliberate on subjects discussed under this agenda item. However, the commission may direct such subjects be placed on a later regular commission agenda for discussion and/or possible action. Seeing no one from the public here, we will move to the next item. Next is our consent agenda. These items are considered routine or ministerial in nature and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of items unless the commissioner so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting held Thursday, March 25th, 2021, and replat of Reserve B, Analia, Kings Park, Section B, and Whitehall, Section B?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Shows to be unanimous. Our next item is consideration and possible action regarding future Planning and Zoning Commission meeting dates. Aubrey?
Our next regular meeting is Thursday, April 22nd, and then our first regular meeting in May will be May 13th.
Okay, communications are next. We'll start with commissioner updates. Do any commissioners have anything that they wish to communicate, suggestions for future agenda items, subcommittee updates, general comments, or updates from liaison assignments? Tom, I'll start with you.
Of course, we had our subcommittee meeting. I'll let Richard say more about that, but that's all I have.
Mr. Sasson?
Yeah, we had a subcommittee meeting, and I'll let Becky tell us all about that. And we had a Galveston County Drainage District meeting last week, but nothing really to share.
Lisa? Nothing new from me. Okay. Mark?
Planning Subcommittee, item B. The only thing to mention was CEDC. Am I saying it right? Voted. I mean, they're voting, right? Okay. So they approved our future land use map. They did give us some comments, and they had quite a few questions. I think Aubrey addressed everything they had concerns about, but none resulted in significant changes. I think the only thing they pointed out was what we're going to do with how the Timber Creek Golf Course is currently zoned. It's zoned as parks. So they asked us to go back and take a look at that. So we will. We'll have a subcommittee meeting next week, maybe. If not, it'll be the following week. But the anticipation is on the 22nd when we have our next meeting, is to give you guys another status. Anything else you want to add that I left off? That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay. I had two quick things just to mention. One is based on Lisa's desire to step down in May. At this point, your plan to step down. We are working through and kicking off the interview process, and Aubrey is coordinating and handling all that as usual. So we will be starting to interview potential commissioners shortly. The second thing is one of the things that took up two of our last two meetings was the topic of the rezoning request for the Panhandle. And I'll just mention, and not to steal Councilmember Griffon's thunder at all, but just to mention briefly that the last city council meeting was on Monday. In that meeting, the applicants showed up, presented their case, discussed it. It was a lot of discussion with city council, and ultimately city council voted 5-2 to table that matter and to give opportunities for the commission, staff, and the applicant to see if we can flesh out, working out the details to give them what they're looking for, possibly without a PUD, and just to see if there's an opportunity to work something out without a PUD.
Okay.
So,
when you say the commission, you mean us?
yes. Sorry. Okay. Yes. Us. So we've been talking with Aubrey. Aubrey's been working with Stephen, and they're working through how we can best accomplish that within our guidelines of Open Meetings Act and so forth. How can we sit down and work together through that? And what's the right mechanism for that? So we've already started that process and working through how can we do this and come back to City Council maybe with something that doesn't require PUD but lets the applicant develop the property as they desire. Those were the only two things I had. So, Councilmember Griffon?
Really just very quickly, Joe mentioned it, we did table the Panhandle 2, and I don't really know how that's going to come back to us because I think it's going to have to come back to us as a PUD, and then we would have to defeat it. If y'all do it outside of a PUD, then we would have to take up that as a whole new item. But hey, for me, personally speaking, I'm hoping that you all can work your magic and y'all can bring back something to City Council that we can all be fired up for and go with. Other than that, if y'all have any questions for me, that's really it for me tonight. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Mark.
let me just ask one clarification. So is it clear in your mind what our action is? Or is there some gray area that we need to kind of pull away the mask from to figure out what we can and can't do?
I always absolutely think I know what our requirements are, and then it turns out I don't.
Okay, but it's
So-
fair to say that dialogue is going
Yes,
on?
it's
Okay.
going to be evolving, but I did hear very clearly that what City Council would like us to do, regardless of the tabling, because that's a procedural thing that they may have to bring it up just the way it was, or maybe the applicant can amend. But I think the bottom line, what I heard, the takeaway for me at least is that can we work together as a team to try to figure out, is there a way that the applicant can amend or through some other process, bring something to City Council that's more to their liking.
Okay, great. I'll go back and watch that. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
so.
and there were some really serious concerns. There were unintended consequences that had all been brought up here. That somehow is going to have to be worked out.
Okay.
Even you had mentioned having something industrial right next to a CSC.
Yeah.
But we also really liked Lisa's idea too about blending this, but not side by side. I don't really
Right.
know how y'all can work that. I hope that you all can work that.
Yeah, I look forward to it also.
Yeah, that can be done in a manner that they can go, hey, we can jump on this. We feel good about it, and
Yeah.
y'all feel good about it too.
Great.
So we'll be looking forward to that.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Next are staff updates. Aubrey?
The March DRC report was in your packet material. It was actually kind of a busy month, which hasn't been the case lately. So some of those were follow-up meetings, with additional people on the same properties, but there was a lot of information in there. And I was just going to mention the PUD being tabled. So that's all I have.
Becky?
Yes, sir. So the ordinance subcommittee met and we talked about the tree ordinance changes. I think we've got a pretty good plan going forward. We didn't make major changes, but we are proposing to increase the minimum required trees. So if you take out a big tree, you can't just put back a couple small trees. The bigger the tree you take out, the more, I don't want to say the bigger the tree, but we're robust. There we go. We're going to change it so it's not so much quantity, but quality of trees that get replaced. We took a little bit from Pearland, a little bit from League City, and kind of got a happy medium, so we're not being overly burdensome. But we will bring that to the commission, possibly the next meeting, if I can get it cleaned up in time and Mary Kay to go over it. We will also be bringing the subdivision ordinance rewrite, which we went over last month, kind of where we were going with that. That red line has pretty much been completed. Mary Kay gave it her blessing. We had fire marshal and engineering department look at those, so I think we're pretty good to go on that. So we'll bring it to the commission the next meeting, so y'all can see the whole finished product, get a vote on that, and that's going to be your unofficial vote, because then we'll have to advertise and go through the public hearing process. So it'll be a few months before it's all finalized, but that'll bring us all up to date with state law on plats and just clean up.
Okay. With that, the April 8th, 2021 Planning and Zoning regular meeting is now adjourned.